Welcome to another episode of Entrepreneurs and Fuego. We're documenting the journey of incredible entrepreneurs. And once in a while, we have a story that I guarantee we're going to be looking back in about maybe 6 months or a year, and you're going to tell me when. And we're going to go, man, James Watkins was here on Entrepreneurs and Fuego. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, sir.
I'm Francisco, that's right.
Okay.
Sarah, you know, who called me Sarah? Nobody really. I can't remember. Yeah. But anyway, James, you've got an incredible app that I'm going to have you tell the story about. It's called College Shoutout.
Yes, sir. College Shoutout.
CollegeShoutout.com. And it kind of reminds me of everything that is old is now new. And sometimes you just got to kind of go back to how things were developed or originally formed in order to rediscover them. And tell us a little bit more about the app that you have. And it's going to make a heck of a lot of sense to everybody when you talk about this. Go ahead.
Okay, so what is College Shoutout? It's a complete social media platform for college students.
Right.
So, you know, now
that sounds like a very familiar
yeah.
idea that started about, some 12 years ago. Go ahead.
Yeah, so originally how Facebook started, they're originally geared towards college students,
Yep.
but they expanded that market, and who blames them? Like, look where they are now. But that they left that market there. Now Facebook, so people between the age of 17 to 26, Facebook only has 22% active users, and that's in the world.
In the world, so 22% of active users between the ages of
17 and 26.
17 and 26. But that's the age that they were targeting originally.
Correct,
When
yes, sir.
when Facebook came out.
Yes, sir.
Or when the Facebook came out.
When the Facebook came out.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so, and right now it's a little bit more than 50 million college students in the US, that's active. What we want to do is that we want to give college students, that privacy, that place that they can call their own. Like, you have Snapchat out there, you have Instagram, but they're not complete social media platforms. They have their own niche that they focus on.
Right.
So that's what we're doing is that we're taking Facebook and we say, okay, we like the things they have there, but we don't believe that it's going to help college students get that complete experience, that complete enjoyment of college. And that's the whole thing behind College Shoutout. It's not about you staying connected with your family or friends. It's about staying connected with everything that's happening around campus. And that's what we want to do. So with College Shoutout, it's not where you can go in there and you post and only your friends can see it. If you go to ASU and you post something, everyone at ASU can see it. You're consistently staying connected with everything that's happening around campus. And what's nice is that if you go to a different university,
right,
you can hit change location. And at that point, you're going to find out everything that's going around that university.
Everything that is going around that university, from employment, from job availability.
Correct, apartments.
From apartments for rent, from best bars or best restaurants for college
students. Yes, best activities to do for college students.
To do, et cetera,
yeah, and you can even meet people like nowadays, like dating apps are huge.
Right.
But with us, with our meet people, it's not just about finding someone to date. It's about maybe finding your best friend, finding a new group, joining groups. Even fraternities are going to be able to create their groups on there and stay connected as well using our application. It
really, for me, I get what you're doing, because this is, I thought, and I had this misconception that college market had already been filled by, maybe there's another app out there that already took care of that market that has been ignored. And there isn't really. Yeah,
it's that everyone is so afraid to try to compete with Facebook. And that's so, I grew up in Alameda, California, which was maybe 15 minutes away from Berkeley, California.
Sure.
So that's where Facebook was actually created. I'm sorry, not Facebook, MySpace. So MySpace was created right there. So MySpace Tom is when I created. So my cousin went to school with him. So I actually had an opportunity to see him at Cal Berkeley. So back then, I told my cousin, like, hey, why don't we try to create something like this? He's like, no, MySpace is too big. You can't create something, you can't compete with it. And then let alone Facebook comes out. And with Facebook, I mean, I love Mark Zuckerberg because he didn't create something that was new. He saw an existing product out there that he can go ahead and make a little modifications to, which then became Facebook. And he just geared it towards an actual target audience. So once he did that and he made it private to that group, everyone wanted it because they couldn't have it. And then once it got to a certain point, that's when he opened it up to everyone. And so my biggest thing is that you can't be afraid to go ahead and try something because something else is out there, you want to compete with it. We don't want to compete with Facebook. You know, that's not our goal. Our goal is to go ahead and cater that college market. And that's our main focus.
And that is cool because I think that in a very weird way, it's forgotten those roots, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing is that now.
I mean, I'm on Facebook, so it can't be that cool.
Yeah. Well, so we do focus groups, and this is the biggest thing we get from our focus groups. Students say, well, the reason I don't use Facebook is because my mom's on there, my dad's on there, my auntie and uncle. My employers look at what I do on.
I don't want them to look at what I'm doing.
Correct.
Probably in my college, this is 4 years that I'm never going to get back. I want to enjoy those 4 years.
Exactly, right. and that's the thing of why Facebook has lost that our audience. From our actual numbers and our research, so we have 30 interns with us that are spread across the universities in Arizona, and we go out and have them collect data for us, and 2 out of 5 students, college students, they don't have a Facebook account. And I was blown up, and this is just from our internal research that we've done.
2 out of 5.
2 out of 5. They do not have a Facebook account, or they deactivated it. So, which means that they're not using it, and I was just blown away by it. And I said, this is our internal research, but I couldn't believe those numbers. But then once you go ahead and look at the numbers and then compare with the feedback that they're giving us, it makes sense. It makes sense why they're not on there anymore.
And what do those college kids want?
They just want something of their own. They just want something that's private to them, something they can say that it's ours, and just freedom. That's what college is about, freedom. Yeah. When you leave high school, for all those years, you have your mom or dad telling you to wake up, go to school, did you do your homework? They're monitoring you and they're watching you. So when you go to college, you're free. It's your time to enjoy life and live your experience and take chances and take risks. And they want to do that and share those moments without being judged. Without someone consistently sitting there by the computer just waiting to get a notification of a post that they have.
CollegeShoutout.com. Check it out, man. I checked it out. I snuck into your site. It's wonderful, man. It's cool. If I were a college kid, I don't know, man. When I went to school, man, I'm glad we didn't have all those cell phones and all those things and Snapchat and everything else, man. I don't know. That stuff will still haunt me, man. I'm telling you right now. So, but I can get what you're doing and this exclusivity that your app has for that particular market. I think it's pretty cool. And one last thing, you have already been offered millions of dollars for your
so
app.
We've been offered $1 million twice by two different companies. But the thing is that at this point in time, they want too much percentage to do it. And right now, we've been funding it, me and my business partner. We both have regular jobs that we do, and we've just been funding everything out of our own pocket. And it's worth it. If you believe in something, you have to be willing to go ahead and invest everything into it yourself. And that's one thing that's been working out for us. So everything is good right now.
Your biggest challenge at this stage of the game?
Biggest challenge with applications is meeting deadlines. Like that is the biggest challenge, because you have unexpected errors that just pops up for one reason or another. You run into these problems. It just happens. So that's the biggest challenge right there, is getting new features in there and trying to meet deadlines. Because I'm very focused. Like if you give me a date and time, I have to commit to it. I have to do it.
You're done.
But with the applications, you can't. You just have to expect the date not to be met. So that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest challenge.
What happens from today? Say within the next 6 months, 1 year?
So within the next 6 months to a year, we want to have over 300,000 active users from Arizona.
All right.
So just say once we complete Arizona, we're going to branch out to Las Vegas and to California. Those are going to be our next target audience there, right there.
UNLV?
Markets. Yes, sir.
James Watkins. You saw him here first, because this is your first interview,
Yep,
right?
the first interview.
First interview. This is the next Mark Zuckerberg, and you saw him right here on Entrepreneurs of Fuego. Pretty genius, man. You're gonna have to come back, man.
I want to come back in a year, and we can.
No, forget about a year, man. You're just flying so high, so fast. I think that every 6 months or so, we're gonna see your progress, and we'll read about you.
One last thing too. In a year, we're also looking at going to other countries. So we want to connect students from other countries together, college students. And right now, there's nothing out there that exists like that. So that's kind of our next step there.
Technology is allowing us to communicate just throughout the world. So the world becomes so small anymore. And that's what you're doing. You're just making the world very small and much more productive. You're cool, man.
Yeah.
You all right?
I'm good.
Thank you so much. With that, we're out.